everyone, welcome back to ONYX Pages. As you know, I am in Jerry and I like the Roots brand. Yes, so this video is probably going to go up at some point in the Afrofuture because I don't know, like I'm looking at this stack of, hi Tommy.
Hi.
I've been looking at this stack of books for a while, and I've wanted to film a haul video so that I can actually put them in my bookshelf, and I have not done that yet. So I'm taking a break. I'm procrastinating, and I thought, let me just do this. And let me see if this photo booth application on the laptop is actually a substitute for filming on my phone. I don't think it is, but you tell me what you think. So let me just grab scissors because my art trolley is doubling as a stand for the laptop, and let's adjust. Okay, here we go. So I have about 10 books. Some are in their envelopes still and some are not. So let me just start with the ones that are not. So the first set of books that I want to talk about are books written by Tananarive. Tananarive is amazing. She is a horror writer, and she has published a number of different books. She's been publishing for quite some time. I think the book that I read, one of the earliest books that I read from her was written in the 1990s. Actually, maybe I'll show you my shelves and tell you a few of the books that I have that she's written. But the ones that I purchased recently are the following. The first is called The Between. Yeah, I think it's going to be backwards on here, but it's The Between. And I'm going to read the back. When Hilton was just a boy, his aged grandmother saved him from drowning by pulling him out of a treacherous ocean current, sacrificing her life for his. Now, 30 years later, Hilton begins to think that his borrowed time is running out. His wife, the only elected African-American judge in Dade County, Florida, has begun receiving racist hate mail from a man she once prosecuted, and Hilton's sleep is plagued by nightmares more horrible than any he has ever experienced. As he battles both the psychotic stalking his family and the unseen enemy that haunts his sleep, Hilton's sense of reality is slipping away. Shocking and utterly convincing, The Between is a novel about a man desperately trying to hold on to the people and life he loves but may have already lost, and it holds readers suspended between the real and the surreal until the final moment of chilling resolution. So, Black horror at its best. The Between was published by Harper Perennial, and it's got a publication date of 1995. So that's The Between. Some other horror titles by her include The Good House and Joplin's Ghost, which are back here somewhere. So I'm not going to go and find them. But yes, those two. And then I have some selections from her African Immortals series. So this one is My Soul to Take, and this one is My Soul to Keep. I mix them both up, and I have multiple copies of both, I actually think, up there somewhere. I wanted to get them all to have the same kind of cover so I can give away the ones that are the odd ones out, but I can't find it. It's somewhere here. Anyway, so let me see which one is first. I keep getting them, lightning. I keep getting them mixed up. Okay, so My Soul to Keep is first. Jessica is an African-American journalist, as ambitious as she is bright. She is chasing the biggest story of her life, a story that strikes closer to home than she knows. Dawit is an immortal, whose ancient thirst for wisdom leads him to break the first commandment of his kind, not to fall in love. Together they are about to pay the ultimate price for their ambition and their desire. And this book was blurbed by Octavia Butler. So Octavia Butler says, I enjoy reading the kind of novel that seduces me right into it and makes me forget about work or sleep. My Soul to Keep does that beautifully. So OEB approved. And also, okay, so Tananarive is stunning. She's a beautiful woman. I love all of her portraits, but this is actually my favorite one of hers. Can you see that? No glare. Oh, there. Look at her face. She's just so gorgeous. Okay, so there's that. And then My Soul to Take. Let me see if there's a blurb. Yes, looks like there is one. So this is the next book in this. Yeah, this is the next book in the series. Fauna, an immortal with tremendous telepathic abilities, is locked in a battle of wills. Her fiancé is Michael, but Johnny Wright, a mortal who is in love with her, believes that if she doesn't stay away from Mikkel, they will become the witnesses to the apocalypse described in the Book of Revelation. Fana and the Life Brothers are rushing to distribute their healing living blood throughout the world, hoping to eliminate most disease before Fana is bound to marry Mikkel. Still, they can't heal people faster than Mikkel can kill them. Dew weaves a tangled web in this novel, including beloved characters from her best-selling Joplin's Ghost, in a war of good against evil, making My Soul to Take a chilling and thrilling experience. So this is a second book. And then there are two other ones. Oh, right here. So this is Blood Colony, which is book number, I think this is book number 3. There's Blood Colony, and then there's one more that I don't think I own that one yet. So I think there are 4 books, and these are all part of the Living Blood, which I don't have yet. So I ordered it. Maybe it's going to be in one of these envelopes. So the other books that I've read of Tananarive Dew's that are really awesome are Ghost Summer. That's a collection of short stories, and they're creepy and amazing. And also, I think I already said Joplin's Ghost. So I'm slowly reading through everything that she's written, and I am very much enjoying her. I also want to point out that there is if you enjoy horror, you can buy the screenplay of the movie Get Out, and there are notes written by Tananarive Dew. Tananarive Dew teaches, I believe she teaches at UCLA. She teaches a course on Black horror, and she often invites famous people to show up in her class, usually by surprise. And so Jordan Peele has come to her classes a couple of times to talk about Get Out, and I think he also talked about Us. So she's an aficionado on Black horror, and wrote a great essay in the Get Out book screenplay. Yes. Okay. The next book I want to talk about is this one. I really like the cover. This is a YA dark fantasy, I think, called Cinderella is Dead, written by Callan Bayron, and published by Bloomsbury. And this is what the story is about. It has been 200 years since Cinderella found her prince, but the fairy tale is over. Now, teen girls are required to appear at the annual ball, where the men of the kingdom select wives based on a girl's display of finery. If a suitable match is not found, the girls not chosen are never heard from again. 16-year-old Sophia would much rather marry Aaron, her childhood best friend, than parade in front of suitors. At the ball, Sophia makes the desperate decision to flee and finds herself hiding in Cinderella's mausoleum. There she meets Constance, the last known descendant of Cinderella and her stepsisters. Together they vow to bring down the king once and for all, and in the process they learn that there's more to Cinderella's story than they ever knew. This is a fresh take on the classic tale that will make readers question what they've been told about happily ever after and root for girls to break down the constructs of the world around them. So I love feminist, and especially Black feminist, retellings of stories. So this is Cinderella. I also have talked about A Dream So Dark and a Blade So Black, which is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland with a Black protagonist. So I'm all here for any kind of fairy tale retelling with a black girl at the center, and better yet, a queer one. And I think there is a queer black girl at the center of A Dream So Dark and A Blade So Black, and I believe that the character here is queer. So we shall find out. All right. So this is a book that I've been curious about. She Came to Slay, written by Erica Armstrong Dunbar. This is a nonfiction book that tells the story of Harriet Tubman. Now, I believe the life and times of Harriet Tubman. I actually believe that Harriet Tubman was an Afrofuturist because she had the uncanny ability to see a future that she helped to bring into her present, now our past. And I'm very curious about this book because it not only has like prose, but it also has a lot of great full color photographs about historical happenings during the time that Harriet Tubman was doing her thing. There's a lot of art as well. And I think the title She Came to Slay, just taking that that African American vernacular and putting that into the dialogue makes me expect that the stories that are in here will contemplate things like Black Lives Matter and some of the more contemporary questions that we have about the conditions of Black people in the United States in particular, but in North America and potentially the world. Harriet Tubman is a very special figure for me in my own life, so I'm super excited about that. And also, like, even look, Harriet's fam, right? I'm very much into genealogy, and I love that there is a sorry, I got excited about the back cover, but I love that there's a diagram of her relationships. So I'll just read the back. Harriet Tubman is best known as one of the most famous conductors of the Underground Railroad. A leading abolitionist, her bravery and selflessness, hey baby, have inspired generations in the continuing struggle for civil rights. Now, National Book Award nominee Erica Armstrong Dunbar presents a fresh take on this American icon, blending traditional biography, illustrations, photos, and engaging sidebars that illuminate the life of Tubman as never before. Not only did Tubman help liberate hundreds of slaves, she was the first woman to lead an armed expedition during the Civil War, worked as a spy for the Union Army, was a fierce suffragist, and advocated for the aged. She Came to Slay reveals the many complexities and varied accomplishments of one of our nation's true heroes and offers an accessible and modern interpretation of Tubman's life that is both informative and engaging. Filled with an expansive timeline of Tubman's life, her new photos, commissioned illustrations, and sections including Harriet by the numbers, featuring the number of times she went back down south, approximately how many people she rescued, and the bounty on her head, and Harriet's homies, notable people in her circle, She Came to Slay is a stunning and powerful mix of pop culture and scholarship, and proves that Harriet Tubman is well deserving of her permanent place in our nation's history. I should have mentioned the name of the author. Her name is Erica Armstrong Dunbar, and she is the Charles and Mary Beard Professor of History at Rutgers University. She's written other books. Her first was A Fragile Freedom, African American Women and Emancipation in the Antebellum City. That was published by Yale University Press, and her second book is called Never Caught, The Washington's Relentless Pursuit of Their Runaway Slave, Ona Judge. That was a finalist for the National Book Award in Nonfiction and the winner of the 2018 Frederick Douglass Prize. So just like amazing. So I'm looking forward to this. And I have to say, there's so many amazing Black women who are publishing works of nonfiction that are really important, whether it's literary criticism like the Dark Fantastic, which is somewhere around here, or whether it is the book on disability and Afrofuturism, written by Dr. Sherry Shock, which is, oh boy, I need to redo my shelves so that I can actually find things when I want to talk about them, because I find that from time to time I want to reference things, but then I look on my shelf and I can't find them. Oh, yes. Okay, since I mentioned it, I will show you what I'm talking about. So the two books that I'm talking about written by academics, actually there's another one that I want to refer to, but Body, Minds Reimagined by Sami Shock, Disability, Race, and Gender in Black Women's Speculative Fiction. So actually, I think, for those of you who are reading the Octavia E. Butler slow read, I think that there is a chapter on kindred, and or at least reference to kindred in this story, because the main character comes back having lost her arm. Yeah, there are many references to kindred, so I need to read that as well. And then The Dark Fantastic, which I have read, written by Dr. Ebony Elizabeth Thomas. Gorgeous cover art, and it is Race and the Imagination from Harry Potter to the Hunger Games. So yeah, there's that as well. Okay, and then maybe I'll talk about that one later. Okay, now we're into the surprise section of the evening, where I tell you what I have in these envelopes. And I don't know what they are either, so let's see. Ooh, okay. So I'm very excited about this one. So this is Dominion, an anthology of speculative fiction from Africa and the African diaspora. So definitely, for those of you who are participating in the Black SFF-a-thon, which I'm co-hosting along with a bunch of awesome people. This was created by Chloe over at Thistle and Verse, and the co-hosts are Noria from Noria Reads, Arlene from Lock Press Books, the blog, and Lucy from Lucy Reads. So the four of us are co-hosting this in October. So if you're interested in taking a look at different titles that are speculative in nature and written by Black folks, this is one that just came out. So Dominion. It features a number of different writers, and I think all are from the African diaspora. I'll just read the back here. Dominion is the first anthology of speculative fiction and poetry by Africans and the African diaspora. An old god rises up each fall to test his subjects. Once an old woman's pet, a robot sent to mine an asteroid faces an existential crisis. A magician and his son time travel to Ngoni country and try to change the course of history. A dead child returns to haunt his grieving mother with terrifying consequences. Candace, an ambitious middle manager, is handed a project that will force her to confront the ethical ramifications of her company's latest project, the monetization of human memory. Osupa, a newborn village in pre-colonial Yoruba land populated by refugees of war, is recovering after a great storm when a young man and woman are struck by lightning, causing 3 priests to divine the coming intrusion of a titanic object from beyond the sky. There are just so many amazing stories. I think the back consists of like a blurb from each of the stories in this collection. This came out in 2020, and the foreword was written by Tananarive Due. So this is great. It was actually a Kickstarter project, and all the people who participated in the Kickstarter are there. And this was edited by Zelda Knight, Ekpeki Oganechov. Ekpeki looks like the first name. Oganechovwe Donald as well. I probably mispronounced the name, but I do like it when people try and fail to pronounce a name than not try at all. So anyway, there's Dominion. So that's available now. I got it pretty quickly, so hopefully you'll get it as well. All right. Is this what I think it is? Yes! Okay. I am very excited about this. This is book 2 of Brianna Lawrence's Magnifique Noir. So Brianna Lawrence is amazing. She is an artist. She is a creator of amazing costumes. Like, she cosplays and sews her own costumes. Her and her wife do that. She makes stickers and patches and is just like awesome. So she's the creatrix behind Magnifique Noir. So this is book number 1. I think it's We Are Magical is what it's called. Oh, I Am Magical. That's number 1. And then this is book number 2, You Are Magical. So this is I Am Magical and You Are Magical. And I loved Magnifique Noir number 1. It's a novel. But I'm just looking at the art and I just can't, because the art is really beautiful. They're like full color. I'll just grab one. Full color, panels. It's most of the pages look like that. But there are full color panels of art, like full color, different artists, references to all of the great artists, who have contributed art. So yeah, this is really great. I'm just going to turn off my phone. I will be right back. This is going to be very chill video because there have been lots of interruptions, phones and such. Okay, so not you, just phones and stuff. All right, I'm not gonna read this because it actually spoils number 1. So let's just say this is number 2 and it's great and you should get them together, and pink and purple, like, just happy about Magnifique Noir. Finally got it. Okay, the next, this is fun. I really like getting mail. Do you like getting mail? I like physical things. Ooh. Okay, I got a bunch of books about spirituality, which I'll just talk about all at once, so I'm not going to talk about that yet. Let's get all the science fiction and fantasy stuff done first. Okay, so from time to time this happens. I think that I have received another copy of Dominion, a review copy, which means I have 2 copies of this book. So you know what that means? Haiku time! If you would like a copy of Dominion, then I would ask you to put a haiku in the downstairs, as Brody would say, a haiku about this book. And then along with the haiku, because there's a horse on the cover, just put an icon of a horse so that I can find your comment. And then I will choose somebody and send you a copy of this book. So it's giveaway time. All right. I hope this isn't the third copy. Okay, it's not the third. Woo! Okay. So this is also an ARC copy. This is A Cry to War by E.O. Odiazi and K.N. Pumpuni. And I think they reached out to me and advised that they would send me a copy of their book in exchange for an honest review. So this is the first book of the last warrior king. A generation has passed and the devastation of war is slowly fading away, but the scars remain, lingering in the hearts and minds of many. In an era of peace, King Ewuare remains conflicted, torn between opening closed wounds or allowing his reign of peace and prosperity to continue. As the king tries to resolve his moral confliction, the gods have a different agenda. Sinister and supernatural forces amass on the summit of the Agbon Mountains, deep into the clouds, where no man dares stray, where the wind bites cold and the forest stays forever frozen. Within lies a tale of kings and queens, warriors and commoners, slaves and sorcerers, and the consequences of their hurried actions. African tribes with swords forged of bronze and steel, wild beasts bending to the will of man and fighting side by side. A Cry to War is a fictional portrayal of history rarely seen before. 13th century West Africa at its peak in war, politics, and triumph. This is A Cry to War, book number 1. I really like the typeface. And then I think I also received a copy of book number 2. But we can't be sure. It will come. This one is a sizable package. We'll see if it's one book or, oh, it's several. Okay. Let's see what these are. These are all, okay, I'll talk about that all at the same time. I've got another stack of ones that are part of my personal study, so I will talk about those all at the same time. I have 2 more packages to get through. Okay. Okay. And they're all part of my self-study work. What is this? Okay. So this is book number 2. Yes, this is a gorgeous cover. So this one is A Dance for the Gods. Okay. So I won't read the back of this one because it would spoil the first. So these two go together. A Cry to War and then A Dance for the Gods. All right. So you will notice I also received a sticker in the mail, which was really cool because it was a black mermaid, but I don't know where I got this from. It was just an envelope, and inside was this sticker. And it's a very strange looking mermaid, which I actually don't mind. I'm just not sure, I'm not sure who it's from, what it's about. So I got one sticker in the mail from an unknown address, and it's a black mermaid. So there we are. Hopefully one day it'll make sense. Okay. So the other kind of book buying that I have been doing, I've made references to it throughout the video. I'm also purchasing books about the Orisha in Trinidad. So as you might know, my parents are from Trinidad, and I have been very interested in looking at the ways that West African religious and spiritual transitions rooted themselves in different parts of the diaspora, and in particular in Trinidad and Grenada. So I have purchased a bunch of different books about the spiritual practice of Ifa in Trinidad. Now, while this is nonfiction reading, the reason why I am talking about it on this channel is because many of the books that we read that are based in fantasy, written by Black authors, the Orisha show up a lot. So the Orisha show up in the Shadow Shaper series by Danielle Jose Older. They show up in Children of Blood and Bone. They show up in a lot of Nalo Hopkinson's work. They show up, the Orisha show up everywhere in lots of different books. In the Jumbies, it's everywhere. In the Black God's Drums, right? The Orisha are spiritual entities that come out of West African cosmology. So I am very interested in learning more about the way that those particular traditions rooted themselves and became relevant in Trinidad, because obviously in the Caribbean, Christianity and Islam and Hinduism are very strong. In addition to indigenous religions, they have a strong presence, but also indigenous African religions also have a presence, and I'd like to learn more about that. So I have a bunch of books that I have purchased over the past little while as part of my self-study, but I know that as I read more about these traditions, they will definitely assist me in my analysis and understanding of the fiction that I'm reading, particularly out of Latin America and the Caribbean. So this one is called Trinidad Yoruba, from mother tongue to memory. So I think that this has more of a historical approach. There's also language and writing and stuff. So that's Trinidad Yoruba. This one is called Spirits, Blood, and Drums, the Orisha Religion in Trinidad. This one was written by a white man who seems to be an anthropologist. So it's not Own Voices, but it's Caribbean Studies. So Spirit, Blood, and Drums. This one is called Reclaiming African Religions in Trinidad, the Socio-Political Legitimation of the Orishas and Spiritual Baptist Faiths. This is written by Frances Henry, who is Canadian. She actually studied and wrote out of the university that I went to, York University. And she has written a lot of really interesting stuff about Trinidad in particular, about the political origins of carnival and masquerades and parades. So looking forward to reading that. That actually might be my first one. Actually, no, my teacher recommended this one, Spiritual Citizenship, Transnational Pathways from Black Power to Ifa in Trinidad. So I might actually read this one. Yeah, so looking again at, I was just reading the back and getting lost in it, but there's that one. And then there are these these self-published, like, shorter books. So all written by Monique Joyner Sadlak, who also has a YouTube channel, and they're self-published. She has her own publishing house called Oshun Publications. It's appropriately named. So this is 7 African Powers, the Orisha. Then there's Connecting with Your Ancestors. And then there's Orishas of Trinidad. So you can definitely see a theme. I am well equipped on my literary journey to explore ancestor reverence, and I feel as though it'll be such an enriching experience to read these books, because the next time I read a story that involves ancestor reverence or that has some sort of supernatural element, I'll be able to better identify those references to Trinidad. All right, so that is it. If you have watched this video all the way to 33.36, thank you very much for doing that. I would love for you to include a marsupial in the comments. I would love a marsupial, so please do that. Marsupials are our friends. And I would love to shout out Olivia's Catastrophe, because we at some point are going to read something together, but Olivia is doing some research on Afrofuturism and Caribbean futurism as well. So I want to shout her out so that you can take a look at her channel and definitely support her channel. All right, that is it. Make sure that when you read, friends, read with purpose, because otherwise, what are you doing? Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't as yet. I really would appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and feel free to share. If you like what you're seeing here, tell your friends and family and ask them to take a watch and enjoy the ONYX Pages experience. All right, everyone. Take care. Stay well. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.